What is going on, everyone? How are we doing? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. It feels so good to be back doing lives. I know I talked about that a little bit last week, but man, these are fun. I look forward to them every week. It's good to hang out with you guys and talk some Packers football and get your questions as always. Just be able to interact with you. It's always a good time. I hope you guys are all having a great Tuesday. Uh, Everything's going well here. Got a nice surprise package early this week. I posted a video about it, which was pretty cool and super unexpected, super fun. So let's see. And I see some comments trickling in here. We got Corey. I'm sure Logan's floating around there somewhere. Good to see you, Corey. And then we have Keith as well. Good to see you, Keith. Ron and Appleton. Good to see you, sir. Steve checking in from Kentucky. And then Ben checking in from California, I would assume still, Ben. Hope all is well there. Iowa Joe is back. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, we started back up last week, Joe. It wasn't the same without you. Christy, good to see you as well. Thanks for stepping back in or following back up. It must not have been too bad last week if you're back again. So good to see you. Chad, what is up, man? Good to see you. Corey, Kirby, I just ripped a smelling salt. Let's get this night started. I'm curious, has anyone ever done smelling salts? I have never done a smelling salt. I have no idea. I have no idea if they're as extreme as I would assume they're very extreme, but I'm curious. Maybe I should buy someone, rip it during a live show. Brittany, good to see you as always. Hope you and Cam and everyone's doing well over there. Ben's still in California. Haven't made the move to Wisconsin yet. I like the yet in there. I hope that's coming up soon. And Joe says he has done smelling salts. It's a hell of a rush. Interesting. I wonder why they call it smelling salts. Like, is it actually a salt? I don't know. I am not the person to even be attempting to answer these questions. We have Jeremy checking in as well. Good to see you, Jeremy. Thanks for watching. I don't know if you guys noticed. Let me hide Jeremy's comment. I thought I did, but my mouse is being silly. I got a new addition on my desk here. Shout out to the Tullys on this one. You can't really see it that great. I'm gonna share. I'll share a picture of what it is if it'll let me. Is it not gonna let me share this? Oh, here it is. Look at this thing. The Tullys got me this bobblehead, and shout out to Tiffany. Hand painted this thing. Look at this. Got my face in there and everything. Rocking the 55. On the back, it says Bishop. It is the coolest, and there is no better spot for it than on my desk. So I figured it was a great thing to throw on my desk, and I had to call it out. Like that, it is the coolest. I'm a little nervous with it being on my desk because sometimes I knock stuff off my desk, but I think we'll be all right. So shout out to you, Tiffany. Oh, I see her in the comments. Thank you, Tiffany. I really appreciate it. Family night. I don't know if any of you went. The Tullys went. I know the Tullys went for sure. Because I was fortunate enough to get a chance to hang out with them this past weekend. Friday night, my wife was hanging out with some friends, so Mason and I went over and we played with the Tullys over at the Titletown Park, which was a lot of fun. And then Saturday night, we went over to Stadium View and we hung out and yeah, just had a really good time. I've really gotten to enjoy like hanging out with them over the years. We've befriended them. I met them actually through my Facebook page years and years ago. So it's been super cool over the years to get to know them really well. And it was just a good time. It's always a good time when they're in town and they're incredibly generous, as you can see with this cool bobblehead that they got for me and made for me, I should say. Yeah, they're just great people. Although I do have some complaints because Tiffany kept trying to give me money. I don't know what for. She was trying to give me money for something. And Well, so is Chad. It sounds a little weird when I say just Tiffany was trying to give me. They were trying to give us money for something, and I was refusing to take it. And they gave it to my son while I wasn't looking. And so my son's just carrying around $40. So now I have to mail $40 back, and we're gonna have this exchange. It is not the end of it, Tully's. It is not the end of it. He says as an old hippie, he wouldn't recommend smelling salts. I don't know. Maybe we'll crack one on a live show sometime. I don't know. Alfonso, good to see you. All right, and then Jeffrey, good to see you from enemy territory over in Illinois. I will say, Jeffrey, there are a lot of people in Wisconsin that always call Illinois people the three-letter word. I am not one of those. I am a fan of Illinois. I think people from Illinois are great, and I love Illinois. Is such a nice state. I don't know why Wisconsin people hate on Illinois so much. Before I forget, here is the giveaway link. If you're new here, if it's your first time here, fill that link out. We will be doing a giveaway towards the end of the episode. You do not need to be here the entire time to win. However, when we do the giveaway, you need to be here to win. Like, if I call your name, you got to be here. You got to be present. There's some interaction you need to do, but fill out that form, get that in, and maybe tonight's your night to win. Could win something like a signed jersey. You could win, I think I got like a $40 Packers Pro Shop gift cards. I got some other money amount in gift cards. A lot of 8x10 signs. So we got a lot of good prizes in there. Tiffany said, Chad said it was our storage fee. You guys are doing me a favor by allowing me to store all your 8x10s and stuff you win at my house rather than ship them out right away. I swear you guys win, especially with the podcast. You guys were winning a lot. So it did me a favor. I didn't have to pay all the shipping. I should be paying you. Oh, Chris is over at Lambeau. Good evening. It is a gorgeous evening here in Green Bay. Awesome. Glad you're over at Lambeau. Tony, good to see you as well. What's up? When can I expect that sweatshirt? Never, Tony. Never. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys caught family night. For those of you that did, drop some comments. Let me know what you thought, what you saw. I know they streamed it, which was cool. So I went with my wife and our son. My son is 2. So I did not get a chance to really watch family night. I was corralling him. He got kind of bored, which is understandable. So what he was doing is he plays this game at home where he likes to throw stuff away constantly, like any garbage he finds, his wrappers, whatever. He'll go through and individually grab one, bring it to the garbage, throw it away, and it's kind of his thing he likes to do. So we were at Lambeau Field. He had some snack wrappers. He had some fun stuff like that. And he decided he wanted to play that game at Lambeau Field. So him and I kept doing a lot of laps back and forth, going from our seats to the garbage to our seats garbage. But from what I did see, there are a few things. And I actually went back and I watched some of the family night today, or just a little while ago, actually. I watched some of the family night, and there are some positives there. I do think the play calling is going to be very vanilla at family night. You're not going to see anything crazy. The Packers are very conservative. Of course, that's no surprise to anyone. The Packers are very conservative with what is allowed to be recorded. If you go to an actual practice, you will get kicked out if you're recording. So other teams allow you to record practices. The Packers do not. So it is no surprise that at family night, they're going to run a very vanilla, boring offense. You're not seeing anything crazy. From what I did see of the offense, you saw some run plays, of course, some check downs, and then just Jordan trying to huck it deep a handful of times. There is a nice connection he seems to have with Matthew Golden already, which is really nice. I hope we see that kind of grow as the season goes. There was one route where Jordan actually threw an interception, where there was some it was to Matthew Golden. The play was contested a little bit, and it seemed like Matthew just stopped on the route, and the DB finished the route and picked Love off. So I know that's not always a good thing to see, but it's nice to see it in a practice and in a scrimmage to be able to kind of fix those things, especially when you're seeing those rookies of, hey, even if the ball may not be catchable or you don't think you're going to catch it, finish the play. I think Matthew's trying to sell it for like a pass interference call, but finish the play. Don't let the defensive back finish the play for you and get an easy pick. So you don't want to see your guys throwing interceptions, but also at the same time, I mean, I think those you're going to have those learning curves with younger players. What I did notice though is from the nets, I think it's from like 15 yards out, 15, 20 yards out, not the like the teardrop corner end zone net, more just a flat one. Jordan looked on. I don't think he missed from what I was seeing. He might have missed, one or two. I don't know. From what I actually saw when my son allowed me to see it, I saw him consistently hit the net, which was good. Looked like maybe he was focused on his footwork and his his actual like movement, his throw movement. So he looked good there. He hit two, I think, in the teardrop or the corner end zone throws from 20, 25 yards out, which was nice. You saw Malik also hit one. You saw Sean Clifford hit one. So his accuracy looked relatively nice. I don't think any of the quarterbacks hit the deep corner end zone one, which that's a doozy of a one to hit anyway. So just kind of looking over at some of these comments here. Chad said LVN came over and signed for us after family night. That is super cool. I know you're a big LVN fan because you're an Iowa guy. So that is awesome that he came over. That makes it even more special to have him come over and be able to get that. I see everyone's arguing over my package that I got today. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm rocking the sweatpants actually right now. So no one's getting the sweatpants for sure. Tony says they look too baggy. Jeremy wants to know if anyone is going to practice on Thursday. I will not be. I will be working, unfortunately. I would like to go to practice, but I got to work. I'm off on Friday, though, but I won't be at practice. I don't know if there is one on Friday anyway. Tony says, I saw Caleb Williams run the same drill and couldn't hit the target. Tony, I think I know what clip you're talking about. I think he was trying not to defend the Bears or defend Caleb Williams. I think he was trying no looks at that point. I don't know that he was trying like a straight look and throw, but I know that during their family night or whatever, I know he struggled immensely in that as well. So I don't know. I could be wrong on that on the no look thing, but I don't think it was as bad as the clip looked. The clip went mega viral because he was just missing all of them. But maybe I'm wrong. He looked frustrated, but he could just be playing around too. But yeah, it was nice to get back into Lambeau Field. It was so fun just to bring your family. If you've never been to family night, it's a fun environment. I'm not knocking the Packers here because they're not in charge of this. But one thing I thought is kind of odd, or one thing I think is odd about family night is usually it's hotter at family night. So we went to family night. It wasn't that hot this year. In previous years, it's been really hot. But bottles of water at family night are $7 a piece. And I'm just like, I understand beer being more expensive. But man, it's family night. And like the Packers aren't in charge of the vendors. The vendors are their own thing. But I'm just like, man, that's super expensive for a family to try to go and do anything there. And you'd think for a family night that maybe the prices would be knocked down a little bit. So it'd be a little bit more affordable to get a hot dog or a brat or popcorn or something like that. I understand if you don't want soda to be cheap, whatever, beer not being cheap. I get that, obviously. But bottles of water being $6 or $7 is just a little crazy to me. We bought a couple bottles. You needed water while you're there. But you're just like, dang, then you see like the Atlanta Falcons who have a cheap menu year round and make their games as family friendly as possible from that perspective. And you're just like, man, why can't we have that? That's nice. But like I said, the Packers are not in charge of those vendors. The vendors set their own prices and do their own things. But I don't know. That's just my thought. Joe, I'm sure defending Illinois and their team tonight. Are you deflecting? Are you the Chicago guy from now on? No, I just uh, I know you're just you know busting my chops here, but I I I just think that um I like to try to be as unbiased about stuff as possible, right? If Caleb is having a bad practice or a bad family night, cool. I'm good with that. We can, you know, I'm good to be non-objective there. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to fan the flame of maybe news that isn't accurate. I don't know. But as far as the state of Illinois, me back in that, I like Illinois. I go to Illinois occasionally. My wife had family that lived there. Would go to Illinois occasionally. It's a nice place. I don't mind it. I prefer Green Bay. There's a reason I live in Green Bay and a reason I live in Wisconsin. But Heather says I would love to come to next year. I'll be there for a game at some point next year. Awesome. Attending family night would be awesome. Family night's great. I mean, honestly, it's not. I will say it's not like the most exciting thing if you have like younger kids. It's a scrimmage. It's a practice. It's not. You kind of start out and every group is doing their own drills. So it's not like an organized thing where they're making announcements really. Every group's doing their drills. You got quarterbacks doing their thing, defense doing their thing, like the defensive line, special teams is kind of doing their thing, and then they'll do some scrimmages, but that's later on. They'll do returns. They do quarterback drills. So you see a lot of different things. It's not like a preseason game. I think preseason games are really fun to watch if you can go and watch it because you see these guys who are maybe fighting to make a roster spot. This is just a straight practice. It's I think it's a lot harder to keep the entertainment aspect from a child's perspective because it's not as structured and organized and there's a lot going on. There's not like the announcements, there's not the crowd noise. You're kind of just listening to music and they're doing their thing. So it is a great time though. I enjoy going to it. It's hard right now. We didn't stay the whole time because Mason's too, and he just can't do that yet. But Kirby says you can't bring in sealed water bottles. No, you cannot. If you try coming in, they make you throw away any liquid. At least for game days. I didn't see anything different. I would assume it was no different for family night. You still had to follow the other carry-in guidelines. So I would assume it's no carry-ins. I didn't see anyone carrying in their own stuff as far as water or anything like that. Yeah, Chad says super hilarious. The wave was started when the offense was doing red zone drills. The crowd was already in regular season form. Yeah. So my friend Dalton, who runs the Northern Nerd, if you don't follow that page, great page. He said that he texted me. He's like, now make sure like they play the no wave thing on the board or on the jumbotron. Make sure that the wave doesn't get started, kind of thing. And as soon as he texted me, like 2 minutes later, the stadium was doing the wave. So, that's all right. It's a practice. I think if you're gonna allow someone to do the wave, I guess maybe family night's the spot. Iowa Joe said at least it didn't rain, which seems to happen more often than not. Yeah, it really does. There's been a couple times where I just sat there in the downpour watching practice. Had that happen, I think we probably would not have went with Mason. Yeah, I mean, Chris, it's not exciting from. I enjoy watching it because I like watching it, but it's not like I think preseason's far more exciting. When a touchdown happens at family night, it's a lot of times you're like, okay, they're not really tackling, they're not allowed to play full contact, so it's not nearly as like exciting. Where in preseason, when you see touchdowns happen, it's far more exciting, far more enjoyable. But the environment is exciting. It's the first buzz of football of the year. Jeffrey says, I wish I lived in Green Bay. I swear that's my happy place away from Illinois. Honestly, Green Bay is such a nice place to live. I know a lot of people give Packer fans grief of like, there's nothing to do in Green Bay. Dude, Green Bay is such a beautiful city to live. I don't know that there's any place I'd rather live than Green Bay right now at this point in my life anyway. Born in Cook County, Illinois. It's a great place to be from. I don't know that I've ever been in Cook County. But I've been multiple places in Illinois. Haven't had any issues yet. So I'll kind of give some background here. But Chad said it was sad that they had tons of King's Hawaiian rolls getting thrown away because they wouldn't let people bring them in. So outside the stadium, they had vendors giving away a 4-pack of King Hawaiian rolls. They had people giving away cheese. They had that 70s show station wagon. They weren't giving that away. They were just showing that off. But they're just giving out cheese and 4 packs of rolls. But you can't bring them into the stadium. So everyone either had to eat them or throw them away. I think Mason ate one and he threw them away. But we did bring in the string cheese, and Mason ate some of that while we're inside. Don't tell Lambeau Field on me, but we smuggled in string cheese. I mean, they didn't check our bag, but we smuggled it in. But yeah, I just think that's interesting that family night you're charged like $7 for water. I don't know. 2017 we had back way to the hallway because of lightning. Felt like back in school. I'm pretty sure I was at that one as well. That's funny. Iowa Joe says I couldn't live in Green Bay, but I love it. I think the mystique would be lost if I was there every day. So Joe brings up a good point. So I'm not from Green Bay. I moved to Green Bay, I don't know, over a decade ago. It's been a while now. I think 2015 I moved here. Yeah, so just over a decade ago. And before I lived here, I would come here I came here a lot. Certain years, 2010 season, I went to 7 games that year. And I was driving to Green Bay so often that when I finished college, I said, I don't have any reason to stay where I'm at, so I might as well just apply to jobs all over Wisconsin. I applied to some jobs in Oshkosh. I applied to jobs in Green Bay, Madison area. I applied kind of all over the place. And a company in Green Bay called me like immediately, brought me in for an interview and hired me. And I love living here, and I always make sure that I remember that this is a bucket list for most people, right? A lot of people who are Packers fans, it is a bucket list item to get to Lambeau Field, to get to Green Bay. So I never take it for granted. But I will say, when I didn't live in Green Bay and I was going to a game, it was so fun, that drive over of like that excitement building. And I still get excited for game days, and I still get excited to go to Lambeau Field when there's an event. But you don't get that multiple hour drive of the excitement. Now, on the other side, I don't also have that multiple hour drive home afterwards and where I just want to be home. So I'll take living in Green Bay all day long. But you do get a little spoiled living here because they have the radio shows every week and you have a lot more stuff that you can do and consume. So it's a good time, but it's I don't know. It's definitely a different vibe living here, but I do not take it for granted at all, for sure. Don't do that to me, Kirby. He says you smuggled in cheese. Your spot on the season ticket list has been terminated now. I hope not, man. I've been waiting, what, 15 years now at this point. I haven't made much progress, but I've been waiting 15. Swag Coda, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Jeremy says living by the stadium has its perks, no doubt. Jeremy, do you live over by the stadium? I don't think I would want to live by the stadium. I enjoy living. I'm not far from the stadium, but I drive. I have to drive anytime I go to anytime I go to Lambeau Field. And when you live here, you know places to park where you don't have to pay, so it's easy to kind of navigate. I don't know that I would want to live right by the stadium. I think that'd be tough to deal with, like drunk people after a late game, maybe walking through your yard or kind of having to be on alert for that. So I don't think I'd want that. Mr. Pettigene, good to see you. All right, I see one question from Swag Coda. we're kind of just interacting with the chat anyway. It's tough when we don't have a lot going on in the football world right now. So let's get into some burning hot questions. If you got some questions, start dropping them. Let's just have some fun with it. I gotta do before I do that though. Let's do this giveaway link. Here's the giveaway link. So before we go over to burning hot questions, there's the giveaway link. And if you were not here last week, or if you have not done so, and I'm going to post it again at the end, so don't go do it right now. But if you want to, you can pull it up and look at it or what have you. This is a season prediction list or season prediction questionnaire. What I'm thinking is before the season starts, I want as many people filling this out as possible. Legit fill outs. Not I don't want Kirby filling it out 17 times when he still owes me his movie list from a month ago. I'm gonna just yeah, I called you out, Kirby. How do you like that? But there is I think I posted up there. Yeah, there is the thing. Make a season prediction if you haven't done so already. We're gonna talk about it after the season, and it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited for it. All right, let's get into some burning hot questions. Thanks to my friends over at Legendaries. Like I said, this segment is brought to you by my friends over at Legendaries. First off, I want to say thank you to them for sponsoring the show once again. If you are coming to town, I cannot recommend Legendaries enough. That is not because they are a proud sponsor of this show. I have been going to Legendaries for years. If you look at my website, they're one of my go-to places. That happens whether or not they're sponsoring my podcast or my live shows. I love Legendaries. I've sent a lot of people over the years there, and everyone else is like, "Hey, Legendaries is legit." Right now, I don't know how much longer it's going to be, but right now they have their new lava sauce, which is their kind of limited time sauce. I would recommend trying that. If you've never been there, you don't know what to get, you're not sure. Their lava sauce, despite the name, it's not super hot. It's a really nice sweet heat, more sweet than heat, in my opinion. I'd be okay with a little bit more heat, but I know not everyone has a broken palate like me. Yeah, I just can't recommend enough. Get in there, give it a try. I know the Tullys went there this last weekend. Sounded like they had some good things to say about that. So, yeah, I thanks to them. But anyways, let's get into some questions. I got to find that one Sway Coda started with here. Oh, okay. What game are you looking forward to most this year that is not the Steelers game? That is a great question to start out with. And my answer is the Bengals game. And the reason for that is going to be the first game my wife and I get to go to since we had our son Mason. So that is going to be a fun one and one that I'm really looking forward to. I still think it's going to be fun because you got Joe Burrow. You have a really good offense for the Bengals. Now, who knows what's going on with their defense? They're a mess on their own. They have a first-round pick that hasn't shown up. Doesn't sound like he's going to play for the Bengals. He might re-enlist in college. He might come back to the draft next year. So I don't know what's going on with their situation there. But I'm excited for that one. I have some friends coming up from the Kentucky Cincinnati area. They're like a group, a Packers group. They're coming up, so it's going to be a really good time. I'm sure I'm going to be spending some time with them. So I'm really excited about that one. That's a great question though, but I am excited for the Packers Steelers game as well. I almost pulled the trigger on going to that one, but I decided not to. As of right now, I decided not to. Let's see here. My dad says any new cheese curd place every week, Dad, every week. I think this week, I haven't done it yet this week, but I think this week I am going to, I don't know where I'm going this week, actually, now that I think about it. And I don't know that I want to say where I'm going. I want to try to keep places on their toes, but I'm going to try to make or do a fresh curd video or two this week. I got to be honest with you. I love cheese curds, and I think I was talking to Kirby about this as well. I'm sure I was talking to the Tullys about it as well. But uh, cheese curds are phenomenal. I love cheese curds, and deep fried cheese curds are so good. But I think deep fried cheese curds are so good usually because you don't have them every week. Having them every week is kind of not. It's not brutal. I still enjoy them, but man, I just feel grosser and grosser every week when I have them because I'm eating this big portion of cheese curds myself because I'm not going to let them go to waste. I don't have an air fryer, so I can't reheat them up later. So I'm trying to crush like an order of cheese curds, and it just doesn't feel good. It's not a good thing. When I went to Lambeau Field and they gave me almost a pound of cheese curds, it's like, oh man, that's a lot of cheese curds. And then I'm trying to eat them. So I don't know. It's just I need some fresh curd reviews, just kind of clear my thing, like my cheese curd thing here for a little bit. So I think might do some fresh ones this week. Tully says Legend Larry's is fire. I agree, man. Kirby had a PDF. I did so. Kirby asked me for my movie list. We talk 90s stuff. Him and I are about the same age, so we talk some stuff. And he asked me some of my favorite movies. And I have another friend who is very into the 90s as well. And we've had this conversation before. So I sent him the PDF like document of what I put together for movies from that era and top 10 or whatever. And that really intimidated Kirby. So it's been a month that I'm waiting on his movie list. Hello, Terry. Good to see you as well. Thanks for stopping in. Tom, yeah, you're nailing it, man. Lots of cheap wings lately because of the Brewers. That's another thing with Legend Larry's. With Legend Larry's, if the Brewers score 8 or more runs, you get $8 wings when you dine in traditional wings. That is a steal of a deal. I don't care about the Brewers. I don't care about baseball. I know that's probably like sacrilegious or something because I live in Wisconsin. I don't care about baseball. I care about them scoring 8 or more runs because I get $8 wings, and that is a great promotion and one that I take advantage of way too often. Kirby says, "How many smelling salts you ripping on next week's show?" I don't know. If one landed in my PO box, I might do it. We'll see. Tony said he's most excited for the Giants game because he's going. Yeah, Steve, you'll be there. I can't wait for the Bengals game. My wife's first game at Lambeau, our second Packers-Bengals game. Man, that'll be a lot of fun. If you are coming into town and if you have any questions on anything, need places to go, drink, all that fun stuff, eat, drink, check out my website, thegreenbayguy.com. Shameless plug. Ben says he was wanting to go to the Bengals game, but won't make that one. But he's going to come for the Packers-Bears game in early December. As a California native, Ben, that is an interesting choice on your end. Godspeed to you. Hello, Alyssa. Good to see you as well. Christy says she's down to her last bag of cheese curds in her freezer from her last trip. She said she guesses it's time to come back. Yeah, Christy, it's always time to come back. I'm surprised that you guys don't have cheese curds over there. So Christy's over in Canada. I mean, you guys do it for poutine, right? So, or is it just like not fresh cheese curds, or maybe they're different entirely? I don't know. Heather says, does my wife have any game day traditions or a tradition you both share with your son? Love that question, Heather. I appreciate that. My wife likes Packers football. She enjoys watching football. My wife is not, she's not superstitious like me. So she's not believing that I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. As far as for our son, like we all wear Packer stuff. But it's going to be different now this year with my son being a little bit older and kind of knowing a little bit more of what's going on. Last year he was just over a year when football started, and he loves having football on, but he doesn't know much. I think what I'm going to do, I told my wife today what we should do is at family night, he got like a Bellin tattoo from little Tully. I don't know. I don't want to say his first name just in case they want privacy on that. But he got a little Tully gave my son a Packers tattoo, and he wore the football tattoo, and he was all happy about it, and he was sad how quickly it washed off. So I told my wife that we should probably get a bunch of Packers tattoos, and maybe every week just put a Packers tattoo on him, because then he'll be excited about it and love that. So that might be our tradition we do this year if I can find some Packers tattoos. Chad says, did Mason break out the bubbles yet? So the Tullys also got my son a birthday present, which was super generous of them. One of which was like a Mickey Mouse bubble dispenser. All my son does is do bubbles. He loves bubbles anytime he's outside. So yes, he did break out the bubbles. How does one not have an air fryer? That is a good question. I don't have an air fryer. I don't even have a microwave. I mean, I have a microwave. It's just down in my basement. I don't use a microwave. So I don't know. I just don't want. All right, I'll go into this because we're on a live show and I'm here to ramble. Tony, if you ever came to my house, I have a decent amount of counter space. I have like one far wall which has a whole big counter area. But here's the thing, Tony. I am a coffee addict. I have an espresso machine. I have a drip coffee maker. I have my scale. I have my coffee grinder. I have the espresso puck dump. I have 6 containers, plastic containers that have like a sealable lid with coffee in them. They all have labels on the front with whatever bag is currently in there or whatever bean is currently in there. So I have a lot of counter space dedicated to coffee because I am a coffee addict. The Tullys got me some coffee because they're extremely generous. I have way too much coffee all the time on hand, and that is a great problem to have because I drink too much coffee. So with that, I just don't have the counter space for an air fryer or for my microwave or anything else. I would much rather use it for my coffee. So yeah, there's that rant. Jeremy says best wings in town. I agree. We get cheese curds at MO's Irish Pub or Culver's down here. I don't want to knock Culver's. I love Culver's, but I do not care for Culver's cheese curds. I think they're more like mozzarella sticks, but when you don't have a lot of cheese curds, like we get them every time I think we go to Culver's. I just don't think they're a traditional cheese curd. But they're kind of like mozzarella sticks. They're very heavily breaded. Family night was a success. Can't wait to go again next year. Yeah, I mean, anytime when you have those kids, kids make family night so much fun. Now some company will send me one next week. Are we talking about smelling salts or are we talking about an air fryer? If a company wants to send me an air fryer, I'll take an air fryer. All right, here we go. Here's an actual Packers question. We're kind of all over the place. Tom says, thoughts on Nate Hobbs' injury and impact on the CB depth or lack thereof. Yeah, the injury is interesting. It kind of was under the radar. I'm happy that it was just something minor. It sounds like it's going to be a few weeks. He's going to be back for the regular season, which is great. I also think there's a little bit of a blessing in there because we're going to have a preseason to maybe see some other depth there. Kind of talking about family night, one name we didn't talk about was the Omar Brown, who had 3 interceptions. Now, I believe he's a safety, but I think it's going to be nice to see these, maybe some of these younger defensive backs. We got Corey Ballantyne back. Maybe get some of these guys some playing time, and maybe you can find a guy, I doubt we have one like this, but maybe you find a guy like a Tramon Williams or Sam Shields, someone who could come in and play even though they're not a highly drafted player. Sam Shields came in his rookie year and was playing in the Super Bowl. It's not rare. It's not often you find those guys. It's rare to find those guys. But the fact when you don't have these starters, not the starters play a ton of the game anyway, but I think it's just going to give more opportunities for maybe these guys to play and get more eyeballs on them. I do think that's the disappointing part about them cutting preseason games is you used to get 4 games to look at this talent or look at talent on the field. These guys that are fighting for position. And now you get 3 games, and they're already talking about potentially cutting that down to 2. So hopefully it's not a lingering thing. Hopefully the few weeks or whatever it is takes care of it. And hopefully by week 1 he's good. He's probably gonna have some rust, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what others can do in the spot. What age is the appropriate age for kids to be involved in the bike traditions at training camp? Honestly, I think whatever age. If you're like my age, trying to get a player to ride a bike, maybe that's a little too old, but ultimately it's up to the player, right? If the player comes out and he sees a kid that looks like he's 20 years old, he's probably not going to choose that kid. He's probably going to find an actual little kid to ride a bike. So I think as long as the kid is patient enough to wait for a rider for his or her bike, I think that's old enough. Now, like I wouldn't try to get my son on a bike right now or anything like that. There's no chance he'd sit there and wait patiently enough for it. Chris, thanks for the comment. First time here. Thanks for your commitment to Packers football. Yeah, thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. Trying to see, going through some questions here. Christy says we do have good cheese curds. Lots of dairy country here too, but they are mostly plain. We don't have all the crazy flavors. That's where it is. See, I do not. I'm more of just a boring person. I like the regular ones. I don't go crazy flavors on my curds, but that is, to each their own. I know a lot of people love the different flavors of cheese curds. I'm just a boring dude. My wife is listening to you and she has her eyes rolling. What did I do now? Is it talking about the air fryer? That's got to be what it is. I didn't see this. Is this real? Mason Crosby made the Wisconsin Hall of Fame today. I gotta look at this. Is that real? I didn't see. I'm Googling it. Yeah, there it is. I think this is what. This might be a little old now, though. Maybe it happened today. I don't know. I see something about like a news story from 2 days ago. So, and then something a couple weeks back, but I didn't see that. That's awesome. Congratulations, Mason Crosby. Well deserved on his end. Let's see here. Shields and Williams. Yeah, the 2 of the greatest. I don't know if it's because I grew up like really, like I was kind of new into adulthood during that era of football, and I was watching football a lot more. But that era of football, there's just so many names that I love, so many players that you just love when you have those championship teams. Personally, Chris says, I really like getting Ballantyne back, but watch for Tyron Herring, y'all. He can cover. See, that's what I love about preseason. That exactly right there is these guys that maybe can compete. We talked about, I saw some people getting mad about Corey Ballantyne coming back, and I was talking to a coworker today, and he said it's a win-win, right? You either have a guy who's used to the defense and can contribute and bring you better skill in the position, or he gets beat out by a guy who's going to be more value add and you cut him. There's really no loss to it. Chris, good to see you. Other Chris says white curds are greater than yellow. See, I'm a white curd guy as well. Maddie, what's up, twin? So Matt also got the same package I got that had the sweats and the sweatshirt. So him and I think, are going to dress up like like the twins over what is it, over at it's Wisconsin, like how you see was it Clay and Colt, how they always dress up together. I think Matt and I are going to do that. We're going to be like the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Is it Danny DeVito? Yeah, the Danny DeVito twins. It's going to be Matt and I this year at Lambeau Field. All right, let's do this giveaway link one more time. We're going to be drawing the giveaway here in just a minute. We're going to talk a little bit about some preseason football, some of the stuff that I'm going to be looking at this weekend while we're watching it. It's crazy that we're already at preseason, isn't it? Packers versus Jets this Saturday. Matt, you're going to be DeVito? It means I got to get like ripped, man. I got to start hitting the gym like Arnold. So fill that out if you haven't done so already. Family is ineligible, Pops, so you are not allowed to fill that out. Which rookie would you like to meet and talk to first? I don't know that one's like jumping out to me of like, oh, I'd really love to go meet and talk with them. I don't know. Was it Sorrell that stuck around until day? Was he the one still sitting in the back when he got drafted and he came out? He was like sitting in the green room by himself for 2 days. I think it was Baron Sorrell. I'm pretty sure it's Baron Sorrell. If so, I'll choose him. I love a good like. What was that like for you? You know, you're kind of sitting around, sitting on your hands, waiting for your name to be called. You're in Green Bay, hoping to walk across the stage, and so I think that'd be my choice there. I was pretty sure it was Sorrell, and I see the comments validating that. It's hard, and maybe Tony can attest to this too, because he was at the draft with us and we're hanging out. I feel like I know this draft class worse than any other draft class because I was there. It was so hard, I think, to kind of keep up with it. You saw picks come in, but on the TV, you're kind of getting recaps on stuff. You know, you're seeing highlights, you're seeing tapes, you're seeing analysts talk about the pick. And when you're there, you get nothing. They make the name selection, and then you're on to the next one. So I think it's been really hard for me to even remember all the draft picks. Admittedly, I've been in kind of off-season mode too. Outside, once the draft happened, I post on social media. I'll check out Matt's stuff. I'll check out Lambo Leo's stuff. I'll check out like the Northern Nerd a little bit. Or I should say I'll check out the Northern Nerd, but I'll check out a couple other like things on social media. But for the most part, I just stay off of it, especially in the off season. So I feel like I'm really in the dark this year on the draft class. Let's see here. We'll do this question with Sway Code, and then we'll draw this giveaway winner. What do you think about ESPN acquiring NFL Network and Red Zone? Honestly, it doesn't really impact me much. I haven't watched ESPN in forever. I don't have cable. Once again, this is the benefit of living in Green Bay is I get Packers football locally, so I don't need to have anything. And then I just watch whatever game's on locally. I'll just put it on as background noise. So I got to be honest with you. I don't watch Red Zone. I don't watch NFL Network. I don't watch any of that. So it doesn't impact me. I do think that those who enjoy it, it's going to be a very different program. I think ESPN, they used to be the worldwide leader of sports, and I don't think that's the case anymore. It feels like they've really fallen off. So I don't think it's a good thing for them. Now, hopefully they maintain that brand, and hopefully they maintain the quality of that brand. But if I know ESPN, I feel like they're going to just suck the life out of it. So it'll be unfortunate if that happens, but we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. Not to dog ESPN, but it's kind of how I feel on it. All right, let's draw a giveaway winner. But before we do, we have to, one, switch this over. And then two, we got to pay the bills. So I do want to say, quick shout out to Nicolet Law, the personal injury lawyer who knows the Midwest because they're part of it. They're not some out-of-town lawyer law firm guessing how things work around here. They're local, which is great. They live in the communities they serve and understand what folks around here really need when things go wrong. Someone who shows up, listens, and gets results. Russell is actually a Green Bay graduate and opened his first practice in Hudson, Wisconsin. So they're not kidding when they say local. If you've been injured and you aren't sure what to do next, call Nicolet Law. They know how to deal with the insurance companies and get you what's fair so you can focus on recovery. Call 1-855-NICOLET or head to nicoletlaw.com and work with a team the Midwest trusts. Shout out to Nicolet Law. I can't say enough how much I appreciate them. I would not be able to do these giveaways without them. Really, they are awesome to work with, and they make things a lot of fun. So I am going to grab this. 1 second. I'm going to grab these entries. Sorry, it takes a little bit when you got some different, if you're entering on YouTube or whatever. I got to clean this up a little bit. So, all right. And then we'll throw it over here. Let's share the screen real quick. All right, we should be good there. We have 24 entries. Good luck to everyone, especially good luck to Kirby, who never wins on these. Good luck. Keith, oh man, we had another close one this week. Last week is a very close one, and another one this week. Keith, if you are still here, I need a number 1 through 35 and up or down, please. Joe says he's not local to me. Well, Joe, you're in Iowa. Nothing's local to you other than corn down there. I say that as other people are in Iowa as well. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. Kirby, after I said that, I was like, oh, watch. Now it's going to hit on Kirby and people are going to genuinely think it's rigged. I have no control over the magic spinning wheel. I'll tell you that much. All right. There is Keith. Keith said number 7, which is a great number. If you're wondering, I have no idea what's in any of these. When I do these, I write out all the prizes on note cards. I put them in envelopes. I shuffle everything around a million times, and then I write numbers on them. So it is as much of a surprise for me as it is you. All right. Keith, you got yourself a $10 Packers Pro Shop. Trying to add myself back to the stage here. I don't know that you'll be able to see it. It's kind of blown out anyway. $10 Packers Pro Shop gift card. Congratulations, Keith. I will I'll get your address from you so that way I can get this mailed out to you. Since I can just throw it in the mail, I'll put it in the mail this week for you. So congratulations. Appreciate it. I think that might be your first time winning. I know Logan and Corey. Corey's your son, if I'm remembering correctly. I know they won a handful of times last season, but I don't think you ever won one. So congratulations on getting on the board. All right. Let's talk about some Packers and Jets. Not a lot to talk about, to be honest with you. It's the first preseason game, right? We don't have anything, at least with the regular season, kind of talk about some stuff. You've seen some film. There's not a lot here to talk about. But what I will talk about, what I want to watch for. Here are my 3 things I really want to watch for. So at family night, I was texting Kirby about it a little bit. There's either 1 or 2 paths I think we go here. I think either our offensive line is going to be really bad or our defensive line is that good. I hope it's the defensive line. I hope the defensive line is insane, because at family night, LVN was bullying Morgan. Like, there is a time where Morgan was in Love's lap. The interior pass rush was really getting beat up too. I mean, the pass rush looked fierce. I hope that is a representation that the pass rush is just that good and not so much that our offensive line is that bad. Now, I don't think we had everyone out there for our offensive line, but LVN was eating. I hope against the Jets, I hope we see that pass rush just dominate. That's going to be one thing I'm watching for. Offensive line's the other thing I want to watch for, especially after seeing that. We didn't see much of James Morgan last year due to injury. I don't know what the rotation is going to look like this weekend, but I would really love to see some of these guys, some of these draft picks that we've had. We had one this year, I think a second rounder offensive line. I'd love to see his play, so that's the other part I want to watch. And then the third we kind of talked about already is the defensive backs. Those are the kind of three positions I'm really focused on. I'll be able to watch part of it, and I'm going to have to listen to on the radio to the other part because I'll be driving back. I'll be kind of listening. Well, I shouldn't say driving back. I'll be driving around a little bit during it. So I'll have to listen for some of the game. Not much of it, but those are going to be the three things that I want to listen for or pay attention to. But yeah, it should be interesting to see the Jets. You see Justin Fields. I don't know how much he's going to play. And it's really interesting when you look at that team that we traded Rodgers to and how different they are now compared to 2 years ago. I mean, the Packers are a lot different as well. So it'll just be interesting to see that team. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on that I wanted to cover, but I think that's about it. Let's see here. I see Chris says, who steps up in Hobbs' absence? D-line is team's weakness. I'm curious on the D-line. I know we say it's a weakness, but we've put some investments into it. LVN, his thumb's not broken. I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see how it's going to go. I really hope that pass rush comes out swinging. I'd love to see some confidence going into week 1. Samuel, good to see you, man. Good to see you as always. Yeah, the Jets are a mess. Hey, maybe Fields is going to be a difference maker for him. But the Jets have historically been a mess. All right. As always, we end the show with a fun story for the week. Usually I like to find fun facts, things that maybe you don't know. And maybe we'll all leave here a little bit smarter than when we started. If you have to listen to me ramble for an hour, that's the least I can do for you. So I'm curious, have you ever wondered where Go Pack Go comes from? Some of you may know, but maybe not all of you know. If you don't know, Go Pack Go is the shortened nickname from the Packers' original fight song, Go You Packers Go. The song was written by Eric Carle and first played at a Packers game by the Lumberjack Band in 1931. It's recognized as one of the oldest and first fight songs for professional football, American professional football team. And then in 1953, the Packers purchased the rights to the lyrics, but they still had to pay a royalty on the song every single time they played it during a game, which I think is interesting. And in 1960, they recorded a version of it performed by our marching band, which features Bart Starr giving the introduction to the song. What I love about the song and what's really fun about the song is it shows its age by referencing the Packers wearing blue and gold as opposed to green and gold, since it was written in 1931. And if you would like to hear the song, if you'd like to listen to the song, because I've listened to it before numerous times, there are versions without the lyrics. There are versions with lyrics, because I think it was re-recorded in like 96 and then maybe 2001 as well. Maybe it was like 92 and 96, something like that. They've re-recorded it. So if you've never heard it and you're like, hey, I want to listen to this, on YouTube, search Go You Packers Go. There is the instrumental or the marching band one. If you type in with lyrics, you'll find a shortened version of it. Otherwise, if you go on Spotify, you can search Go You Packers Go and you'll hear the actual song with the actual lyrics. But it talks about something about the blue and gold, which is just awesome to me. So yeah, if you've ever wondered where Go Pack Go comes from, that is where it came from. Go You Packers Go, that fight song. So I thought that was a fun thing to share. Not everyone knows that, and I think it's just a fun tidbit of history for you, something we can all walk away a little bit smarter with. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate all the interaction. Really, without you guys and interacting in the comments, this would not be nearly as fun. I hope you guys enjoy when I'm interacting with all of you as well, rather than just sitting here and yapping at you for an hour, because really it's so fun to sit here and chat with you guys and get to know you guys. I feel so many of you now, I see your screen name and I know where you're from. I know your first name, like Keith, even though I can't see his first name. It's awesome getting to know you guys, and it really kind of feels like a nice Packers family that we're building here. And it makes it fun when I see you guys in person, that it's like, oh, okay, hey, that's Tony. Good to see you, Tony. Those kind of things. So appreciate you all hanging out. As we're leaving, my last words to you is, if you have not done so already, fill this out. Fill out that form of the season predictions. Even if you are horrible at predictions, I am as well. But I think it'll be fun at the end of the year, before we get to the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll just recap this. It would be so fun to be like, oh man, Heather nailed this Super Bowl selection, or Heather nailed this off the wall pick, or Tony did this. And I think that'll be a lot of fun to talk about that as we're leading up to the Super Bowl, or maybe even after the Super Bowl. We'll see. But I think it's going to be fun to kind of reflect on the season after the fact and be like, man, we're so silly that we thought this player was going to do this, or we thought this team was going to do this. So I think it'll be a good time. Until next week, until next time. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks as well to the companies that proudly sponsor the show, Legendaries and Nicolet Law. I really can't thank them enough. So till next time, till next week, I hope to see you same time, same place next week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and go Pack Go.